Thanks everyone for their patience. U of T space is at a premium, so there was a class in here right up until we started. So thank you to everyone that has got us all together relatively quickly. So, good evening everyone. My name is Jamie Keller, and I'm the Acting Director of the PharmD program at the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy. Today, I have the distinct pleasure and privilege to serve as your Master of Ceremonies for this very special event, the induction of the pharmacy class of 2022 into the professional community of pharmacy. Welcome, and thank you all for enthusiastically accepting our invitation and generously giving your time to be here with us today. We are very lucky to have a number of special guests with us this evening. A number of guest speakers that I will introduce shortly, a number of faculty and staff, pharmacist colleagues, and of course all of our students and student leaders. For the very first time, this is kind of cool, we are very happy to welcome our students, friends, and family via our Facebook live stream. So thank you to all of you, I can't see you, but I think you're here, who have tuned in to watch the ceremony, to watch and support all of your up-and-coming pharmacists. Today is an important milestone, and we are so pleased that you can join us remotely. A special thank you for everyone that's been able to participate today. I also would like to take a minute to recognize Jessica Uidi, Nadia Gibbons, and Linda Chung for their invaluable assistance in organizing and coordinating today's event, as well as the team of volunteers that they have gathered and who worked with them to make this evening possible. This is a massive undertaking to get all of the pieces of this machine to work, and without their help, it certainly wouldn't happen, so thank you. They are all running around still somewhere, but I will thank them all as well. And finally, I just want to give a very big thank you to the Ontario Pharmacists Association for their generous gift of our lab coats. You'll hear this many times today, but we have representatives from OPA here today. So thank you to Bill Wilson and to Alan Malik and all of the other folks from OPA for their ongoing support and dedication. They have provided the lab coats for this event since its very beginning, and it's something that is really important to all of us. It's important to you as students, and we're very thankful. So thank you. Okay, so to our year one students, class of 2022, a most sincere, warm welcome. We are truly privileged to have you join our faculty and our larger pharmacy community. By entering the pharmacy program here at the University of Toronto, you are on a path to become a valued professional that has a significant impact on the health of Ontario citizens. We are very confident that you will embrace this vital role and recognize its importance and your place in our society. Today, through this induction, you embark on your own career path within the pharmacy profession. All of you will take your own path, and none of your journeys will be the same, but all of them will be very important to the professionals that you will become. You are now part of a highly regarded health science faculty at the University of Toronto and a leading-edge faculty of pharmacy in Canada and internationally. And in joining us, you have also accepted the responsibility that comes with this wonderful opportunity. In choosing to become a pharmacist, you have begun your commitment to the professional role, and we count on you to fulfill your commitment. We will all be here to help you be successful in this role in the very near future, and certainly while you're here with us at the faculty. Class of 2022, today we will formalize your affiliation with the profession through a symbolic induction ceremony. The context of this ceremony will be set over the next several minutes by our dean and our many guest speakers who will all welcome you into our wonderful community. And so now it gives me great pleasure to invite our interim dean, Christine Allen, to address the class. Dean Allen.
Thank you, Jamie. I am delighted to be here with you this evening for this very meaningful and important event, and welcome each of you to our faculty. I'm going to begin with a few thank yous. I'd like to thank all associations, companies, alumnus, and friends who are with us tonight. These dedicated supporters provide not only financial support, but also give of their time as mentors, preceptors, educators, and volunteers. And for that, we thank you. We greatly appreciate all that you do for the faculty and our students, and we are delighted to have you as part of our family. Usually with us today is Dr. Leslie Dan, an individual whose generosity to this faculty is unparalleled. The gifts from Leslie and his family have transformed our faculty over the past 11 years. All those who have been educated in the Leslie L. Dan Faculty of Pharmacy building and guests who have had the chance to visit our home can understand what a significant difference Leslie's generosity has made. Unfortunately, Leslie could not make it this evening and sends his regrets, but we are very honored to have David Windross with us here this evening. He's worked closely with Dr. Dan. David is a graduate of the class of '75 and is a very active alumnus of ours, supporting us in a number of different ways. David is here to represent Leslie as a close friend and former employee. Thank you, David. So I'll welcome Jamie now back to the podium.
So our next speaker this evening is Andrew Wiley, and he's the manager of Pharmacy Quality and Safety at Sinai Health System, and he is here representing the Toronto Academic Health Sciences Network. Please join me in welcoming Andrew.
Thank you, Jamie. Very nice to see you all. So I'm bringing greetings from the pharmacy leadership at the different academic hospitals downtown and around Toronto. Our relevance to you is that we're your training ground when you begin your clinical rotations. And what you'll find is that we've got many different things for you to see, from ambulatory practice to intensive care and emergency medicine and surgery. And you'll learn all about those things from your peers and your seniors in higher grades of the opportunities that are there. Also, we're a place where you can volunteer, and that's a self-serving interest in sharing that with you. But there's lots of volunteer opportunities, and I hope to share a few tips with you about how that might become important to you. So there's three main things that we would like you to know about, and we hope you'll embrace over your years. First is around patients. So they should be your priority. They're also your training ground in that they'll teach you everything that you need to know. So things around symptom clusters for disease, about who responds to drugs and who doesn't, who gets toxicities and who doesn't, and to really help you understand how impactful you can be as a pharmacist, whether it's in hospital or in an ambulatory practice or wherever you choose. And the second thing that I'd like to share on behalf of the group is around volunteering, like I mentioned. There's lots and lots of opportunities in pharmacy to volunteer, and I think it's important for you to understand those opportunities and take advantage of them for many different reasons. One is that it helps solidify your presence in the profession and helps you make some contacts. And that it's also very good for you for networking and to start to build relationships with people out there who can provide some guidance to you and expose you to different patient populations and different opportunities in pharmacy. And that relates to the last, is just to encourage you to make those contacts, to find a mentor in pharmacy. There are lots of people out there in various different positions who would be happy to mentor you, and they can be a sounding board, whether it be over coffee or email, to help you through some tough times, or to give you some advice or to share their experiences in things that they've tried out in pharmacy in different practice settings. So welcome again from the academic group, and just to remind you of those three things: patients first, and to look for opportunities to volunteer, and also look for a mentor. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thanks, Andrew. Now I am pleased to invite Bill Wilson to address the class. Bill is the Interim Chief Executive Officer of the Ontario Pharmacists Association and has been very involved and held a number of different roles through the pharmacy profession over a number of years. Bill, welcome.
Thank you for not mentioning the number of years. They shall go. By the way, there's a seat up on the back row, third one in, that's got my name on it. I noted that nobody chose to sit in it, so At the time I donated it, I lobbied for a cooler and a cup holder, but I was shot down, so that's my contribution. Seriously, it's great to be here, and just before I begin formally, I'd like to introduce some folks from OPA. Alan Malik, who is our Chief Pharmacy Officer. Sean Simpson, who is our immediate past chair and now the CPHA rep, who you'll hear from. David Windross. David is a past chair, and most importantly, we have a real pharmacist, Christine Elliott, not the minister, she's an accomplished member of our Drug Information and Resource Center. So we're all here gathered as a team to welcome you. On behalf of Mike Cavanaugh, our chair, Jen Baker, our vice chair, the members of OPA, the board, and the staff of the Ontario Pharmacists Association, I offer you my congratulations on your acceptance into the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy, and to sincerely thank you for your decision to enter the profession of pharmacy. Our mission at OPA is to advance the pharmacy profession as a vital healthcare provider through advocacy, innovation, and support services. Our vision is to be a respected leader in the pharmacy profession focused on health and wellness. The Ontario Pharmacists Association is committed to evolving the pharmacy profession and advocating for excellence in practice and patient care. With more than 10,000 members, including pharmacists, pharmacy technicians, and of course, hopefully you, pharmacists in training, OPA is the largest advocacy organization, professional development, drug information provider for pharmacy professions across Ontario. We currently are actively advocating for the new government with the new government for issues on increasing the scope of practice, including prescribing for common ailments, increasing the scope of vaccines and other injectables, point-of-care testing, as well as for the dispensing of medicinal cannabis in pharmacies. In addition to our advocacy work, we provide several member benefits such as continuing education program, drug information services, and a very extensive range of insurance programs, including professional liability insurance. In closing, I would wish you all the very best and look forward to see your names on the list of members of OPA to help us to assist in moving the profession forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. And so now I'm pleased to welcome Sean Simpson to the podium, and Sean will bring you greetings and a welcome on behalf of the Canadian Pharmacists Association. Sean.
Thank you, Jamie. And like Bill, I think my name, or at least my father's name, is somewhere up in the back row there, and I think that cooler went missing, Bill. So. As your OPA representative on the Canadian Pharmacists Association Board of Directors, I am very pleased to bring you greetings from our national association. Over the next 4 years, you will learn and you will experience so much that will set you on your own unique path as part of a truly amazing profession. Pharmacy offers such a wide range of opportunities for you to make a difference, and no matter which route you choose, know that you're joining the ranks of some of the most caring and knowledgeable healthcare professionals in this country. Expectations and demands on pharmacists are growing. In province after province, we've seen an unmistakable trend towards a greater expansion of service. CPHA and our provincial association partners have long called for a greater scope of clinical and therapeutic responsibility for pharmacists, and governments, recognizing the value that pharmacists bring in terms of accessibility, quality service, and efficiency, are listening to that message. As your national association, CPHA is working closely with provincial and national pharmacy associations across Canada to help move our profession forward. We're currently working on Canadian Pharmacist Scope, or CPS 2020, so I guess this will be done halfway through your time here. And that's an initiative that will define and drive a future towards a harmonized scope of practice right across this great country. The broad framework envisions pharmacists practicing to the fullest scope within their own competencies, leveraging their medication expertise to optimize patient care and outcomes. We've come a long way, but we still have work to do. And despite the challenges and uncertainties that ongoing change present, there are fantastic opportunities ahead of you. You'll be graduating at a very exciting time for our profession, with new opportunities to provide patient-centered care and truly use the full extent of your unique knowledge and skills as medication therapy experts to make a real difference in the lives of Canadians. Never lose sight of the fact that the things that you do every day have an incredible impact on your communities and your patients. I thank you for the opportunity to bring greetings today on behalf of CPHA. You are the future of our profession, and each of you has a key role in shaping pharmacy for tomorrow. And if I go off script, just to add to three things that I think Andrew alluded to, as far as being an advocacy association, we are certainly here to help you, but you are all your own best advocates, and we need you to get a part of that movement and push it forward with every bit of energy that you have, because there is a lot of work that needs to be done, as Bill and Alan will tell you, and the more that we work collectively together on that, the better off this profession will be. So I look forward to getting the opportunity to meet with many of you and welcoming you as colleagues through the next few years. I encourage you to contact us with your thoughts and ideas and to engage in how we can strengthen this profession in Canada. Now more than ever, your future for our profession can be whatever you make it to be. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Sean. So next I would like to introduce Olavo Fernandez, who is the treasurer at the Canadian Society of Hospital Pharmacists, and he will bring greetings from the CSHP Ontario branch.
Thanks, Jamie. So tonight it's my sincere pleasure to bring you greetings on behalf of the Canadian Society of Hospital Pharmacists Ontario branch to welcome your class of 2022 to the profession of pharmacy. CSHP is the national voluntary organization of pharmacists committed to patient care through the advancement of safe, effective medication use in hospitals and other healthcare collaborative settings. So over the next several years, you will gain the knowledge and skills to become a highly competent clinician with the ability to pursue your career in a multitude of environments. That may be in hospitals, community pharmacies, industry, research, or academia. These will be exciting, challenging, and hopefully fun and fruitful years in your professional journey. We hope that on graduation and throughout your long and illustrious careers, you remember the concepts and principles that are going to be highlighted today. And the central one is the importance of keeping the needs of your patients central to any decisions or actions that you take. I wanted to share three thoughts, partly because I can only keep three thoughts at any one time in my head these days. So the first one was seize the opportunity before you. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. That's from Thomas Edison. I remember being really shy as a pharmacy student when asked to be involved in student government and professional associations, but taking part opened up boundless opportunities, including working with fantastic people in your own class, in the province, and across Canada. Number two, a picture is worth 1,000 words. When I think of the images representing pharmacy in the past, that might have been mortars and pestles, pills, vials, and counting trays. In the present day, that may be pharmacists talking to patients, technology, the pharmacists advocating within the professional team. But you will create the images that represent the future of our profession. So dare and have courage to dream. So from Ralph Waldo Emerson in that regard, do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail behind. Finally, choices in life and career can influence our success and happiness. From Albert Schweitzer, a Nobel Prize winner, success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. So in closing, we wish you professional success and professional happiness, fulfillment with your choice to join the profession. We look forward to being your colleagues in the very near future. Congratulations on taking the first step today on your journey into the profession of pharmacy. We look to you to be our leaders for tomorrow. Good luck and enjoy the journey. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks, Olavo. So Matthew Liu is the president of the Undergraduate Pharmacy Society, and I'm sure no stranger to all of you. The knowledge, skills, and values required to become a pharmacist will be acquired through your formal curriculum. Essential and complementary skills of leadership, collegiality, and participatory action, though, are built through involvement in student governance and activities. So as the president of the UPS, Matthew exemplifies the qualities of a successful leader, as well as an infectious enthusiasm and willingness to contribute to the student life, as well as the curricular endeavors of our faculty, and we're very fortunate to have him as our UPS president. And with that, I welcome you to bring some welcomes.
Thanks, Jamie, for those kind words. Good evening, distinguished guests, faculty members, friends and family on the live stream, and most importantly, the class of 2T2. My name is Matthew Liu, and I'm the president of the Undergraduate Pharmacy Society. It's truly an honor to be here tonight to speak to you. It just seems like yesterday we welcomed you to the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy at Roche. And finally, we are now welcoming you to the profession. You have no doubt worked hard to achieve your goal to be here today, sitting in this room, waiting for your white coat. The Whitecoat Ceremony symbolizes the beginning of every pharmacy student's career, and it represents the commitment to lifelong learning and the dedication to improving the lives of our patients. By the end of the 4 years here, you will have the ability to make an impact on every patient that you encounter. This is not only a responsibility, but also a privilege that should never be taken for granted. The landscape of pharmacy is changing, and I cannot think of any better time to enter the profession. Do not hesitate to advocate for the profession and be the catalyst for change. You can shape the profession to what you want it to be. Don't be afraid of the challenges that approach. Be focused, be determined, be hopeful. Empower yourself with the knowledge and use that knowledge to build a foundation for your boundless potential. Lead by example and never fear. Know that the faculty, your friends, your family, and your peers are all rooting for your success and will support you along the journey. To the class of 2T2, in the short 4 months that I've known you, I cannot be more proud of how far you've already come. There's a sense of community that is unmatched to the other classes as you support one another in and out of the classroom. You are truly a family. Congratulations. I look forward to what all you can accomplish, and welcome to the profession of pharmacy. Thank you.
Thanks, Matthew. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Nancy Lum-Wilson is the Registrar and CEO of the Ontario College of Pharmacists. We are grateful to have Nancy here with us today. Prior to her joining OCP, Nancy served in the Central LHIN as Director, Health Systems Planning and Design. Nancy is a graduate of U of T's pharmacy program, and I'm honored that she's here to join us today. Nancy.
Thank you, Jamie, and welcome everybody to the beginning of your journey. And from the Ontario College of Pharmacists, I bring greetings and congratulations on this first step. I think oftentimes we look at each other and we think, okay, what is it that you're going to do with your career when we first go into our first year, our first step into the university? And I would say to you, always remember that the choices that you made back then are driving you every single day to where you are going now and where you will be in the future. We look at pharmacy, and I'd say any profession at all, and we think to ourselves, why are we doing this, right? What is it going to mean when we move on into the next into our next step in our profession? And I would say to you what I said to my kids at the time. I said, as you think about this, make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. If you're going into pharmacy and you're going in it to help people, then make sure that you remain true to that, and that it remains central to everything that you're doing. And so my oldest son, who is right now at Western, in a double major in history and political science, and I thought to myself, what exactly are you going to do with that? And then like any self-respecting Asian parent, I tried to push him into law. he sat down and said to me, Mom, that's not what I want to do. And so from that, we all as parents learn a lesson that we have to respect what it is that our children and our students decide to do with their lives, always remembering that they're going into it for the right reasons. And if you're going into pharmacy to help people, you've picked the right profession. Understand, of course, that it is also a lifetime commitment. It is a lifetime of learning, and it is a lifetime, I would say, of dedication to what it is that you want to do with your life, right? And those patients, I always say to people, are at the end of every prescription, there is a patient. And if we remain true to that, we know we can't do any wrong. We at the Ontario College of Pharmacists are the regulator for pharmacy and pharmacy technicians. We have over 20,000 registrants now in Ontario, and about 16,000 or so of them are pharmacists. Our job, of course, has to do with, on the one hand, the registration and ensuring that there are enough qualified pharmacists that are providing safe, quality care to their patients. Our mandate, though, is patient protection, to serve and protect the public, but that is also yours, right? Every time that you see a patient, you're looking at them from the perspective of how can I help you, and we need to remain true to that. The other thing I want to say to you is, as you're moving through your career, don't lose your curiosity, because that is the foundation of innovation. You've heard a number of our speakers earlier talking about where are we today versus where we were 50 years ago. We used to just dispense, and then things kept changing, and now the practice is so clinically focused. But have we as a profession kept up with all of that? Right? Have we go into school and everybody in the academic world recognizes that we are moving towards clinical practice. What's happening out there in the field? Which brings me to my third piece of advice for you, and that is to choose mentors that exemplify the kind of pharmacist you want to be in the future. You are the future. You will change how pharmacists practice in the future, and it will be a much more collaborative place than it is today, or than it was 20 years ago. So I'd say be true to that, keep that central to everything you do, and of course, enjoy yourselves. It's a great journey. Welcome to the profession. I look forward to seeing you in 4 years' time when you are graduating.
Thank you, Nancy. So I'd now like to call up Susan Drodge, our Director of Advancement, who has the honor of presenting our honorary white coat to this year's recipient, Ann Milochik.
So good evening, and as Jamie said, I'm the Director of Advancement here at the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy. And it is my distinct pleasure to be presenting the white coat this evening. And I'll just call upon Anne to just wave and say who you are so everybody knows what I'm talking about before I call you up for your white coat. So each year, we honor a specific individual who's a distinguished alumnus and who's made outstanding contributions to the profession of pharmacy, the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy, and of course, the growth of our students. So this year, as we've said, Anne is our honorary white coat, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Anne's career. After graduating from U of T with her Bachelor of Science in 1971, Anne started her career in hospital pharmacy at the Royal Victoria Hospital in Barrie. She then moved to Toronto Western Hospital, where she continued her work as a hospital pharmacist. Anne then decided to pursue her MSc in pharmacology at the University of Alberta. And of course, after completing her second degree, Anne returned to Toronto, where she began work at Sick Kids as a drug information pharmacist. Anne then decided to take her career in a whole new direction and joined the pharma industry at Cyril as Manager of Scientific and Professional Services. Now, I'm going to tell you, Anne went on to hold many roles in the pharmaceutical industry, and just to name a few, she started first at Bayer as a project manager in clinical product development, then at Apo Pharma as a product director in a project director in product development, that's hard to say. Then on to CibaVision, and then on to Novartis as a project manager in supply chain management. Finally, Anne went to Taro Canada as a project manager, technology transfer projects. And of course, Anne's experience in healthcare went beyond just her work as a hospital pharmacist and in the pharma industry. She worked at Ernst & Young in the healthcare and life sciences consulting practice and at the drug programs branch at the Ontario Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care. And throughout her tremendous career, Anne has remained closely connected with our faculty. For many years, she was a preceptor in our hospital rotation program. She also has participated many times as an interviewer in our MMIs and is a mentor to students interested in pursuing a career in the pharma industry. Most recently, Anne helped participate in our UTCAP process. And finally, Anne is also a committed donor to our faculty. And in addition to her support of her alma mater, Anne has also contributed to many other not-for-profit organizations and is actually currently on the board and is chair of the fundraising committee at the Mississauga Symphony Orchestra. So as you can see, Anne has had a very successful career in the healthcare industry, and we are extremely proud to have her amongst our distinguished alumni community. So now I'm pleased to call Anne up to the stage to receive her honorary white coat. No. Perfect. Should we take it? And it fits.
When Susan told me I was getting this award, I told her that I still had my lab coat from first year. Silver nitrate stains on it. A drawing of this Caligula, who was a popular Roman senator or something at the time. And I took it to our last pharmacy reunion, and they said exactly what Susan said. It still fits. Yes,
That's pretty good.
Thank you very much for this honor.
Thank you. So I'd like to invite Jamie back to the podium.
So thank you very much to all of our guests who have brought welcomes from many different organizations. So students, the faculty and all of our guests are so pleased to welcome you, the class of 2022, into the professional community of pharmacy. And we really do look forward to working with you over the next 4 years of your educational journey. Just think, 4 years from now, you will be sitting with your peers as you are today, except you will actually be assembled for convocation. Can you imagine that yet? Fair enough. Someday you'll get there. And by then, you will have established relationships that will last a lifetime. And I think you'll have already seen great examples of this tonight. Many of us in this room started where you are today as students of this faculty, and we then went on to various different careers, and now we're all back, many of us as colleagues, and many folks in this room taught me at one time, and it still feels somewhat strange sometimes to stand here as a peer, not their student. So pharmacy, as you've heard, is a very small world, and we're so glad to have you part of that world. So at this point, upon following graduation, you will be set out and licensed by the Ontario College of Pharmacists after the completion of your national pharmacy examinations. You will then be able to get your license to practice as a pharmacist and begin what comes next in your career. And this is a very special and unique place that you will all find within our society, and you will all find your place to work and provide meaningful care and service to a number of folks in Ontario, but certainly probably far beyond that as well. This future role and all that it entails will be a compass as you navigate through the next several years of your education here at the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy. And so now, I would like to ask members of our pharmacy community and our faculty to join me in reading the Code of Ethics. So if Olavo, Bill, and Nancy, as well as Natalie, Karen, Andrea, and Annie, and myself can just come and form a line in the front, we will read part of the Code of Ethics. heard of the Code of Ethics because you all attended the mandatory training sessions of the pre-induction workshop that I myself led. So I know you were all there, so this won't be the first time you've heard this. So the next few minutes, the group of us here will read excerpts from the Code of Ethics extracted from the Ontario College of Pharmacists Code of Ethics that was published in December of 2015. So I will start. The most important feature or characteristic that distinguishes a healthcare professional from another type of professional is that healthcare professionals are committed, first and foremost, to the direct benefit of their patients, and only secondarily to making a profit. Pharmacists and pharmacy technicians are healthcare professionals. What does being a healthcare professional require of pharmacists and pharmacy technicians? In choosing to become a pharmacist or pharmacy technician, we acknowledge our understanding and commitment to the professional role, recognizing it is not about us, our personal or business interests, it's about the patient.
We appreciate that our patients are vulnerable and may often be limited by personal and circumstantial factors which enhance and reinforce this vulnerability, and that inherent within the healthcare professional-patient relationship, there is an imbalance of power, with the healthcare professional holding that power.
Patients trust that as healthcare professionals, we will respect and protect their vulnerability and maintain professional boundaries within the healthcare professional-patient relationship, as we use our knowledge, skills, and abilities to make decisions that enhance their health and well-being. Where does this obligation come from? When we become a regulated healthcare professional, we implicitly enter into what is commonly referred to as a social contract with society.
This contract requires that we keep our promise to act in the best interest of our patients and place their well-being first and foremost. It requires that we recognize and remember that we have not simply chosen a profession, but also a vocation, committing ourselves to help and benefit those entrusted to our care in a spirit of altruism, goodwill, sincerity, and integrity. In exchange for our promise, society agrees to provide a profession with the autonomy to govern ourselves as a self-regulating profession with all the privileges and statutes afforded regulated healthcare professionals.
In fulfilling our professional, In fulfilling our professional promise to our patients and to society, healthcare professionals are guided by the following ethical principles of healthcare. Number one, beneficence, to benefit. The first foundational principle that forms and guides our commitment to serve and protect the best interests of our patients establishes the fact that our primary role and function as healthcare professionals is to benefit our patients. We need to remember that our patients seek our care and services because they believe and trust that we will apply our knowledge, skills, and abilities to help make them better.
Non-maleficence is to do no harm and prevent harm from occurring. The second foundational principle that guides our commitment to serve and protect the best interests of our patients addresses the reality that as we strive to benefit our patients, we must be diligent in our efforts to do no harm and, whenever possible, prevent harm from occurring.
Respect for persons and justice. The third foundational principle merges the principles of respect for persons and justice, which collectively guide our understanding of how we ought to treat our patients. Respect for persons acknowledges that all persons, as a result of their intrinsic humanity, are worthy of our respect, compassion, and consideration. We demonstrate this when we respect our patients' vulnerability, autonomy, and right to be self-governing decision makers in their own health care. The principle of justice requires that we fulfill our ethical obligation to treat all patients fairly and equitably.
Accountability, fidelity. The fourth and final foundational principle directly ties us to our professional promise to be responsible fiduciaries of the public trust, ensuring that we keep our promise to our patients and society to always and invariably act in the best interest and not our own. It is this principle that holds us accountable, not just for our own actions and behaviors, but for those of our colleagues as well.
Yeah, you guys can sit back down for a minute. Thank you. So, in a few moments, I'm going to ask our distinguished pharmacists at the front to place white coats on the students who have volunteered to represent their classmates. They're all here in the front row, for the official donning of white coats. And before we do this, I want to just once again thank OPA for donating the white coats for our students for this ceremony. So, could I ask that our student volunteers stand, please, and just please stand off of the steps so that you don't fall. Take a step down with your lab coats. That's great. And so I will now ask anyone of the panel, or code readers and pharmacists, to stand and to put the white coats on to our students. Please introduce yourself to your guest, tell them your name, and we will put on our first official set of white coats. How are we doing? Everyone we have a coat there? Okay. So thank you to our volunteers. So now I'm going to ask all of our guests and pharmacists to stand and face the class of 2022 to receive and bear witness to their pledge of professionalism as they join our pharmacy community. So now we need a little bit of logistical organization. So will our student readers actually please move towards the microphone and just stand behind them so that you're there and ready for the readings. Yes, this is contrary to what I told you before. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten things. I'm just changing the rules as we go. So just move towards the microphone so that we're not going to disrupt anyone getting up and out of our seats. Fantastic. So individual members of the class of 2022 will state the pledge on behalf of their classmates, and then all members of the class will read the final statement in unison. So class, please be sure that you have your copy so that you know what you're going to read when we get to the part where we all join together. So I'm now going to ask Rami El-Khoury to get us started.
As a professional, a pharmacist must adhere to a demanding set of ethical principles. High ideals are necessary to ensure the quality of care extended to patients.
Adoption of these principles begins when a student joins all members within the professional community of pharmacy.
As students of pharmacy and members of the pharmacy community, we believe that there is a need to build and reinforce a professional identity founded on integrity, ethical behavior, and honor.
This development, a vital process in our pharmacy education, will guide us in our educational journey towards the professional relationship we must establish between society and ourselves.
Integrity will be an essential part of our daily life, and we will pursue all academic and professional endeavors with honesty and a commitment to service.
As members of the professional community of pharmacy, we are ambassadors for all other members and will work to ensure that our actions uphold the integrity and prestige of other members and of the profession.
Therefore, as pharmacy students, we will embrace loyalty and duty to the profession by contributing to the well-being of others and by enthusiastically accepting responsibility and accountability afforded by our affiliation with the profession.
We will also pursue professional competence through self-directed learning and continual learning.
We will strive for high ideals, cooperation, and harmony amongst our classmates, academic and non-academic staff, and professional colleagues within the university community and the profession.
We will adopt professional and ethical standards of behavior within the university and in practice settings.
We will thereby encourage collegiality amongst our professional peers and respect their rights to optimal learning environments and career opportunities.
We will uphold the profession of pharmacy with respect and pride.
We will speak respectfully and constructively of the profession and strive to promote the positive contributions the profession can make to patients' care amongst our professional peers within the university community and to society.
We will maintain the highest ideals of patient care and professional attributes to facilitate a positive rapport and trusting relationship required of the pharmaceutical care provider.
We will support our colleagues by actively encouraging personal commitment to the spirit of the Ontario College of Pharmacists Code of Ethics and to this pledge of professionalism.
As a pharmacy student, I hereby agree to this code of behavior and will strive to uphold my pledge of professionalism throughout all aspects of my education in pharmacy.
Wow, that was great. Good job. Wow. So I'm going to now ask the readers can go back to your
seats, but I'm going to ask that you now all stand up, please. And so now I get to make the official proclamation that the pharmacy class of 2022 is hereby officially inducted into the professional community of pharmacy. Welcome. So, at this point in time, I'm going to ask anyone in the room that's faculty and pharmacists to help you put on your coats. If you're in the middle of the hall, put on each other's coats and congratulate each other and enjoy the moment of donning your coat. Okay, so I'm going to just bring us back in so that we can bring things to a close. You can have a seat for a minute. You all look very professional in your new white coats. Soon they won't be so white anymore, which I think Anne has already attested to. They will soon look very used, which is great. Okay, so at this point, I just want to say thank you to everyone for their participation. It has been an honor for me personally. These student events are really the highlight and the joy of the job that we have, and so it's just been a great pleasure to welcome you all to our pharmacy community. Following this, as you all know, there is a reception, and I want to encourage all of you to take a few minutes to say hello and to thank our special guests for attending and introduce yourselves and get to know them. As you've heard today, many of the folks in this room will be your colleagues and your peers. They may in fact be your mentors. Someday they may even be your boss. So, all of these networking opportunities surely should not be missed. So, with that, I also want to remind you that upstairs in the Jack K room, the room where you spend a lot of time studying, I imagine, there is a Pledge of Professionalism book that we have every year. So I encourage you all to make your way there to be sure that you sign it. And there will also be photographers that are available to take pictures of you and groups of your friends as well. So thank you very much to our Pharmacon photographers as well. They do great work. So in a moment, I'm going to ask all of our speakers and our faculty and guests to proceed up one level to the atrium. I'm going to allow them to head up before all of you so that they can make their way upstairs, and there will then be opportunity for you guys. Once our guests leave, thank you very much for attending. I want all of you guys to stay here and stand up, and the Pharmacon will organize the big group photo. And once that's done, you will all make your way upstairs to join all of us. So once again, congratulations, welcome to our community, and thank you very much to all of our guests.